All right, happening now on Newsroom Africa Channel 405. It's Your View. I'm Thabo Mdluli in for JJ this evening, and we are having a frank talk now in this hour with the former acting National Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Khomotso Phahlane, and of course we're talking about a range of issues, including what is in the news of late. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Thabo, and good evening to all the viewers.
You are the highest, I suppose, at this particular point in time, ranking Lieutenant General in the police force. But you've been on suspension for, what now, over 18 months?
No, I'm not on suspension.
You're not on suspension?
No. According to the police regulations, suspension can only last for 90 days.
Right.
And I'm way beyond the 90-day period.
So you're employed?
I am for 2 years, 6 months at home. And if that was to be defined as suspension, whoever is calling it suspension must then explain what it is. It is not a suspension. It is not special leave.
Yeah.
It is not vacation leave. But if you were to ask me what it is, I will say to you,
Get it out of the way. Have you been paid 4 million rands in the past 2 years? That's a
4
figure
million rands. Well, I've read the figures that I have been paid 4 million rand. But even if it was to be the case, that's what the package is of someone at my level.
Yeah. But as a law enforcement officer at your highest level, right? How do you feel about that? You're being paid 4 million rands for doing jack all. Right. So it's almost stealing taxpayers' money, in a sense.
Thabo, it can't be me who's stealing taxpayers' money. I did not place myself at home. I, of course, out of respect for processes, agreed to step aside to allow investigations to take place so that at no point am I to be accused to be interfering with investigations.
So the minister at the time said, look, step aside. But they also said, give us reasons why we should keep you, right? You chose not to participate in that process. Why?
What do you mean, give us reasons why you should not?
We should not get rid of you.
No,
right?
How can you get rid of me? I'm employed,
right?
And no one can get rid of me because of rumors and allegations. What is that any allegation that is being made must be thoroughly investigated. And if you followed me over a period, I have been saying, if there are allegations against me, they must be thoroughly investigated. And if there is evidence supporting those allegations, the matter must be taken to the court so that I may be processed through the criminal justice system like any other citizen in this country.
So
unfortunately,
you felt like you did not want to answer that particular note from the minister, who said, give me, as they do these days, right? Even the president does at some point, writes a letter, say, give me a reason why you should not be fired. And you said, well, he's already asked me to step aside, so I might as well just...
No, let's not confuse issues.
Yeah?
First, the minister has got no powers to suspend me. At a time, if I were to be suspended, it was to be the president, since I was acting as a national commissioner. Beyond the period of acting as a national commissioner, the national commissioner of police will be within his rights to serve me with a notice of intention to suspend.
Yeah.
And in that process, I am to be allowed an opportunity to respond as to why I should not be suspended. But no way, whether correctly or incorrectly, was I ever asked why should we not dismiss you? There is nothing like that
But
in the regulations.
that announcement was not made by President. The announcement of you no longer being the National Acting Commissioner was made by the Minister.
Yeah, but do you want to support what is wrong? I'm saying to you, the Minister has got no authority in terms of the regulations.
So yes, I mean, that's what you're saying.
Suspend.
He had no authority to
Yes,
to
I'm saying to you. And for me, it's not a matter that I will want to dwell into.
Yeah.
Safe to say that there is no such provision that allows the minister to do so. There is such provision in terms of the police regulations for the national commissioner to do so. Yeah. And if it is in the case of a national commissioner or an acting national commissioner, that competency lies with the president. So whether the minister was right or not, I don't think it's something that we must dwell into. Safe to say that I am not on suspension, and it is for the past...
So why are you at home for 2 years and 6 months and you're not active in the police? Why are you not asking to say, hey, I'm still Lieutenant General, I can still go to the forensic division, which I was heading up until I was then called to go in and be acting National Police Commissioner?
I've been reading, I am a former and an ex-top cop, and I'm asking myself, when do you become a former? When do you become an ex-top cop? Because where I am a serving member of the South African Police. Directing that question to the wrong person. I think you should direct that question to the authorities. As I'm saying to you, I am not on suspension. Yeah. I am not on special leave. I am not on vacation leave. I'm not on sick leave. Those are the categories of absence that I will be able to explain.
So we are lover, in simple terms.
No, don't bring it to me. I
mean, why are you not asking the authorities to say, authorities, why am I not back at work?
Yeah, look, Thabo, I said, at a time where there was an engagement between me and the then Minister of Police, I had agreed to step aside. Yeah. The reason I agreed to step aside was to allow investigations to take their course. Okay. 2 years and 6 months down the line, I'm still hearing investigation.
So one of those investigations that was going on at the time was around this thing of kickbacks of cars for tenders and that sort of thing. And of course, we know those charges have been provisionally withdrawn. Doesn't mean that the case is gone. They were withdrawn. Take us, I mean, in your understanding, right? Were you allowed as a senior police officer at the time to be sponsored with cars?
Let's set the record straight. First, me and you must agree that no one is above the law. And I am not above the law. If there is any wrongdoing on my part, I need to answer. I need to account. And if there are allegations of corruptions that are being made, irrespective of who the person is against whom those allegations are being made, they must be investigated. And we must agree that such a person, if there is an evidence that support those allegations, that evidence must be brought before court so that that person is processed through the criminal justice system. Okay. Unfortunately, in my case, all I hear is noises. First, it was about my house. Secondly, it was about my music system. Thirdly, it was about the vehicles. And I was never in these 2 years, 6 months before a court on anything that relates to my house or the music system. Yeah. In actual fact, those who were charged with the investigation found evidence which suggests that I have paid from my own resources for the music system, as well as I have a bond for my house, but they will never come to the public domain and communicate that. All what they will continue feeding you with are allegations.
So
On
did you,
the issue-
did you have some kind of an arrangement with Durant Snyman?
No, Thabo, you said we're going to be frank.
Yeah.
I now say to you, here is an issue of the House.
Yeah.
I
No, I'm
said
going to
it-
come to the issue of the House.
No.
We were still talking about the vehicles.
But
right
that's
now.
where we must start, because it started with the
No,
House.
we're going to get to the House. We're going to get
so-
to the House. We're going to get to the tender. But right now, I was just asking you about the issue of the sponsored.
I'm going there.
Let's start.
I'm
let's
going
start
there.
with your relationship with Durant.
Don't run to the so-called sponsored cars.
Yeah.
Remember, it was about all my vehicles.
Yes.
You were told as the nation that I've got 7 cars.
Okay.
One of those cars, I ate. And for your information, I have got no appetite to be driving a BMW. I've never owned one.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to be owning one.
Right.
I know that they went through all the dealerships in Pretoria looking for a place where I bought the vehicle. Only God knows where they are going to find their answers.
I'm not talking about the type of cars. I'm just talking about this statement from the IPID report that says there's a bank statement that shows Durant Snyman had an account in a bank in Namibia, which money was deposited into by Keith Keating.
Yeah.
And that is the money that was used to purchase vehicles. So it made its way back into South Africa, into his account, and those vehicles are the vehicles that were sponsored to you. That's what I'm talking
We must stop making allegations without any proof. I have got no business of what monies are flowing between Mr. Keith Keating and Mr. Durant Snyman. I have got no insight into what business they are involved in. I have got nothing to do with their business in Namibia. So if there is money that is flowing between the two of them, it must never be made my business. What I have placed on record was that I had 2 vehicles from Durant Snyman, which was a Polo as well as a Toyota Highland, which were vehicles that were sponsored not to me in person, to the family, because of the projects that we were involved in as a family.
Yeah.
Those vehicles were to be with us for 18 months. Upon the lapsing of the 18-month period, those vehicles were returned to the dealership, to Mr. Durant Snyman. What he did with the cars, it's not my business, it is his business. I'm satisfied that there was this arrangement.
Did you declare that arrangement?
Why must I declare vehicles that are not given to me?
Pop in the country. I mean, it would appear right now as the reports are saying this was done in order, quid pro quo, do you a favor, you do me a favor. Did you declare in order to avoid that type of situation? Did it occur to you?
I do not declare anything that is not given to me as a person. Of course, as a senior manager, I'm expected to declare those gifts or whatever sponsorship that is coming to me. But in this particular instance, the vehicles were never for my use. And I have, for example, registered one of the cars in my name for the purposes of ensuring that that vehicle is insured, for the purposes of ensuring that that vehicle is maintained. And I'm satisfied that I have made a contribution in those communities.
So the vehicles were registered in your name?
The one vehicle was registered
and
in my name.
You didn't see that could be a problem?
It is not a problem.
Yeah.
Why is it a problem if I am contributing
Well, I mean,
to the community?
if the vehicle then is registered in your name, it could be a direct benefit to you.
It is not. I'm explaining to you. Now, it looks like Thabo is some magistrate who's trying to find me guilty.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking.
Something.
I'm saying, would you not find it strange, like if I said to you, no, the car is just registered in my name. As a police officer, you come to me and say, but the car is registered in your name. No, it's just registered in my name, but it's actually for those people to use.
It was my way of contributing, to say I'm accepting full responsibility for that vehicle that is sponsored, that I am going to take out an insurance, which I did, that I am going to maintain that particular vehicle until it is returned to the owner, and that happened. Now, what you are not telling the nation is that while people are talking of sponsorships and vehicles that were not declared, I have declared all what I was supposed to have declared, and the Public Service Commission has found nothing wrong with the declarations that I have made. On the contrary,